What is up there, beautiful people, and welcome to another edition of Just Trending News. Yes, today we're still speaking about the Dr. Nandipha Magudumana and Thabo case, as I recently saw a tweet that piqued my interest, okay? So this tweet says, Home Affairs Minister R1.4M says the 1.4 million rand spent to charter a flight from Tanzania to SA for Dr. Nandipha Magudumana and Thabo was the cheapest option available, okay? And this person goes on to say, even when coming to face crimes, they do it in style. So obviously, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana and Thabo had to be brought in from Tanzania to South Africa because they had previously decided to flee and they were fugitives for a long time, right? So it's now coming to our attention that the government actually spent about 1.4 million rands to charter a flight for Dr. Nandipha Magudumana and Thabo to get back into the country to face, obviously, the full wrath of the law in South Africa. And honestly speaking, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that these two prisoners, I don't know if I should call them prisoners, okay? This criminal who is Thabo he's a convicted criminal, and this lady that's now on trial, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, are receiving royal treatment from the state, okay? So I don't really know what other options there are to bring fugitives back from a country that is in the same continent as we are in Africa to South Africa. I don't really know the expenses that actually go into that, but 1.4 million rand does seem like an exorbitant amount of cash, right? So obviously this is just my uneducated opinion. I don't really know about, pricing of chartering planes or helicopters or whatnot, but I'm just trying to say that the state is spending a lot of money in dealing with these two, okay? And the reason why a lot of people are particularly upset at this case is that whenever these people, and by these people I'm referring to Thabo and Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, have to appear in court, they appear in court in style, my darlings. They appear in court in style, whereas regular criminals get into a police van or in some sort of correctional services facility bus to be transported to and from their court appearances. Dr. Nandipha Magudumana and Thabo have had a fleet of luxury and expensive cars transporting them specifically to and from their court appearances. Okay? And it's just shocking at this point, because what we need to be asking ourselves is, why is the state spending so much money on these two people who are being accused of committing these horrendous crimes, right? So obviously, Thabo is already a convicted criminal, right? So now he's just added more. He's added more charges to his charge list, right? Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, we don't really know what's happening with her at the moment. Obviously, she still has to go for her second bail hearing or a bail hearing. And, she still has to, go through the court process, But I just don't understand why it's seeming as if it's costing our state, it's costing the government, and therefore indirectly or directly taxpayers a lot of money to deal with these two. These two were living in luxury, while they were committing their crimes. Dr. Nandipha Magudumana has always been a lady of lux, my darlings. And I saw an article earlier on today where her classmates were saying that she was driving a convertible, okay, during university, which is why they suspect that Dr. Nandipha Magudumana was dating Thabo since 2006. Thabo was living his best life in prison. He had access to laptops. He was attending conferences. He had happy birthdays sung to him by hundreds of people in a room all at once, and who knows what other special treatment Thabo was receiving. So it seems as though while these people were committing these horrendous crimes, planning this, elaborate escape, potentially murdering more people, allegedly, they were still living a fancy life and shopping at Woolworths, before they were caught. And now, while they're in the process of answering for their alleged crimes, they're still being given better treatment than what the average, criminal, South African criminal gets. And honestly, I think that it's time it stops. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, please do shed some light on this, especially if you've got any knowledge about, what it takes to bring back a prisoner, obviously, or, a suspect from a different country. Do you think that it's fair that we are expending so much of our budget on these two alleged criminals, while Thabo is a convicted one? Or do you think that, it's not fair? Tell me what you think in the comment section, my darlings, and I will see you in my next upload. Goodbye, lovely.